It's a Tuesday, and when you hear that soundtrack, you know the geeks are in town. So it's 7:08 p.m. The station is Joy 99.7 FM, and the show is Geek Squad. Last week we had a conversation where we were talking about the music industry and how it has changed drastically over the last century because of technology and technology-driven innovations. Music technology, basically when we talk about musical instruments, the studio equipment, the software, the algorithms, and even the devices that we use now, even your cell phone that can help you produce music. Today we're going to talk more about the business side. Last week we spoke about the production and how it has evolved. David told us a lot about reel tapes and how back then, you had to cut magnetic tapes. If you messed up the session, you had to do the whole
start
thing
all over again.
Yeah. It was crazy. And today we have Rash. Hi, Rash.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know Rash, but I know Rash is, the low-key legends, one of the low-key legends in the music industry. Rash, tell us about yourself, just a short bit of yourself.
Oh, I'm Rash and Rash from DKB Studios back in the day, and I've been with David all along. We had the DKB Studios together.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening and you don't know DKB Studios, they're responsible for a whole lot of productions from way back. The Dasibre, Draminas, and so
VIP, Exdo, Yogi Dogi, KK Fosu, Priki, Obrafor, Oforian Ponsa.
Like the
list goes on and on and on and on. Yeah.
There was this one time I was in a car driving from. We had gone for an event and we're coming back, and I was listening to Hits FM, and they started playing a song. And already I was criticizing a song that was played before. And right after they started playing another song, and I'm like, the person mixed hell out of this song. Guess whose song it was?
What's that?
It was David Bolton.
Odofufro.
Oh, okay. Odofufro.
So I just heard it on the radio. I'm like, wow, he really mixed. It sounded so crisp and clean.
Yeah. This is some of the reason why we are back to try and put quality songs out there. Really take our time to make sure that we can compete with the outside world when it comes to music and quality. Yeah.
Great. So now let's get to talking about the music business and how technology has evolved it, both positively and negatively.
Yeah.
One of the positive, parts of this is that now it's sort of, I personally like to say it's lowered the entry barrier for musicians, producers, all over the. When I say producers, I mean like the sound engineers who creates the beats and everything. It sort of lowered the entry barrier for them. So anyone with just a regular laptop can just make a song.
Yeah, can make a hit. That's right.
And I mean, we've seen that with Soulja Boy's Crank That. We've seen that even with someone like Lil Shaker. I remember when Shaker was starting in his bedroom, just a microphone hanging from his light bulb, and then a laptop, a computer that literally didn't close. He was making songs that all the high school kids were jamming to. Yep. So it sort of lowered the entry barrier. But has this posed any problems in the industry?
It has. I mean, it's again, as you say, it's lowered the entry barrier. I mean, I have just a few weeks ago, I got the shock of my life in that there was one young guy who used to come to the studio and is really interested. So we used to give him a bit of information, let him play on the equipment and so on. And then a few weeks ago we heard from his grandmother, and the guy is now a producer for Future, and he's seven times platinum, 3 times gold. And this is
okay. Now, explain 7 times platinum and 3 times gold.
Well, when you get platinum, you sold 1 million copies.
Wow.
Right. So he's been responsible for Future's big hits, and sold over 7 million copies. I think gold is it 100,000 or 500,000?
500,000, half a million. Yeah.
So I mean, and young guy, he's probably in his early 20s, and
Wow.
you know, he took inspiration from what we were doing back then, and he's blown up, and you know, he's doing so well. So it's kind of a proud moment for us.
Wow. I'm shocked. Like, you would think that there's so many music producers out there, so it would be so difficult for you to be noticed. But
It's there's a lot of luck involved. You know, you have to be at the right place at the right time. You know, moving with the right people. That's the thing. I mean, us being in Ghana obviously limits the sorts of artists and musicians that we meet.
yeah.
But if you're out there, I mean, he was lucky enough to get to the United States. He was based in New York, and then started working in some of the studios there, and then met some of the musicians. Eventually met Future. Future liked what he was doing, the sort of beats he was making, and then the rest is, you know, as I say, history.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So now, besides it, you know, lowering the entry barrier and sort of giving an opportunity to everyone to start producing, how about the musicians who also rap and those who sing? How has technology come to help them?
It's helped. Well, it's gone both ways. I mean, it's helped in that now, literally, you can have a laptop and a microphone, a small keyboard, and even without a keyboard, you can use your mouse and produce beats.
Yeah.
And if you're, you know, if you spend enough time and you do enough research and learn enough, you can produce world-class quality music
Right.
off your laptop, because it's all software based now. It's all, you know, it's digital, so it's all software based, and straight from your laptop you can then release it, you can promote it on social media, and you can sell it. So right now you can basically be your own manager, record label, distributor, you know, everything in a box.
Wow.
So that's it's opened up the music industry to virtually anybody who has that drive to succeed.
Right.
Whereas in the old days, if you didn't know somebody that knew somebody, you know, in the A&R department and was linked to a Sony or an EMI or Universal, you know, there was no hope. You didn't, you know, there was no hope that you could get
now,
discovered.
Let's segue into that process back then. How did your music get discovered back then?
Well, back then they used to have, well, they still have them, but they had what they call the A&R managers, artist and repertoire managers. So it was their job to scout, so that they would go to the nightclubs, to the pubs, you know, to the small venues, and look out for new talent. Sometimes they'll go on the undergrounds, you know, the tube stations, and look for the buskers and so on. And when they discover the new talent, they would then basically sign them on, you know, produce some sort of music for them, and then take them on through that process.
Right.
So it was a very exclusive club that you had to meet the right person and make, you know, and that person, if the person didn't like anything about you, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there could be 10 million people who would love to listen to your music.
Wow.
But because that guy doesn't like you, that's the end of your career.
So it was a personal thing.
Yeah, very much so. Very much
Great.
so.
Drum roll.
Yes, sir.
How did you get discovered?
You know, like every producer these days in Ghana, you know, a big artist has to use your beat. Yeah, I mean, and also like almost every other producer, like I started out as a, you know, like a rapper myself, like back in senior high. Yeah, so started making some beats, learned from YouTube mainly. Right. And then, I mean, it all started like, I'm doing this for myself, I'm learning for myself, and then next thing you know, one person hears you, yo, you're good, I want to work with you, and then it just keeps going, and next thing I knew, I ended up producing some songs for Haywire. Back in the day, I stepped in the studio where if I used to be, this guy heard me, he was like, oh, this guy, you're really good, I'll play some of your stuff for Sark and see what happens. And Sark heard it, and then bam. So after Sark heard me, and then L followed, and then, you know, the rest is history. Manifest, and everyone else followed. So your benefit from technology was YouTube to learn how to produce. Yeah, like, yo, I don't sleep on YouTube. Yeah, like whenever people tell me like,
you know, I just finished school. I'm home. I'm not doing anything. I'm like, this is it. This is the time. Like, this is when you find yourself. Because that's when I found myself. Because I didn't like start out and be like, I know I'm going to be a musician. I didn't even enjoy music. My dad used to like tell me I should learn to play the piano. I didn't even know why he wanted me to do that. Like, because I didn't listen to music. I would say the first song I ever hip hop song I ever loved was 50 Cent, Go Shorty, it's your birthday. Because it just had a really catchy melody. I was like, yo. And then next thing I knew, listening, and then bam, next thing I knew I was producing.
Wow.
Yeah, so technology is like, yo, I wouldn't be here basically if I hadn't if not for technology. So yeah, so definitely.
Yeah. I mean, even now, I spend at least 1 or 2 hours every day on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just, looking at different production techniques.
Yeah.
How to produce a certain vocal, how to get the certain kick sound.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's virtually
There's
everything is there.
Yeah.
And you have these world-class producers who have they're producing stuff for the Beyoncés and
Yeah.
and everybody, you see, and they're openly telling you how
they
to
did
get
it.
the sound. And so it's wonderful. Now you don't need to go to school because the school is there on the internet. You see the thing, it's all there. Anything you want to learn is available. It's just you applying yourself and taking it seriously.
Yeah.
So besides this, so we've gone through discovery and how you learn, and then you've come up with a production, and then you put it out there. You're looking to make some money out of it.
Yeah.
Back then, Rash, how did you guys make money from production?
Oh, back then, what we used to do was any production that we do, the artist has been scouted very well. Actually, we're working with other teams, so all the artists were recording at that time. There was money,
Right.
so we go into partnership and we produce, and we know that the artist is going to go to this level or it's going to get to this. So anytime we're working, we know what we're working on. So we take our time to produce because we know this song definitely is going to put out there and it's going to make it the waves. So we work with other team members like Ibrahim Ohinijan, Precise, most of the artists, Lucky Sounds, all of them. So you're recording our Obrafo's album. We
Those
do
days
album,
they would actually buy the album before it was ready.
Yeah.
So you knew that you had an advance waiting for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes it more, interesting and very, you know what you're working on, and from this project you're going on this project. So you learn out for the whole year. You know what you're doing. So yeah.
Versus now.
Yeah.
Now,
Right now, it's
now, what I can say is now there's not. You see, let me put it this way. Like David was saying, he was saying we need to learn because things
Are changing.
So when things are changing, you have to try and also change the ways of doing stuff. But some songs that are coming out, you can see people don't really put much time and much effort in it, because we tried for like almost 4 years. We're planning to come back to DKB Studio. So whatever we buy, then the kind of technology we want to use, we have to research. I was in school trying to see what we want to get back in London. So when we are ready, we got the right thing because we know what we want to achieve, So we spend money, we really, really invest into what we have now. So now there are songs all over the place, and sometimes in terms of making money off it, you have to hit the right place. Like you have to really be at the right place at the right time to get your song heard. And if you want to compete with the people on the outside world, you have to do something that can match them. So basically before then we had teams with us, that's why we're very successful.
And now you have so much technology to help your music get discovered easily. But at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword.
Very
So
much so.
there is file sharing. You have Mediafire and the likes, Dropbox and all that. You release, this is not even music, but I remember X-Men Wolverine Origins. Before the movie came out, someone leaked the unfinished version onto, like the piracy websites, and people pirated it. I watched that version. I hadn't even watched the finished version before.
Okay.
This is what happens in the studio sometimes. You're in the studio, you've done a song, this is a hit, and someone just copies it on a flash drive and leaks it on the internet.
Yeah. But I think that's the leaking issue is not a huge thing. It's the artists themselves
That
who,
do that.
who leak it, if you will.
Yeah, these days.
You know, right now, what's happening is that, you know, there are so many artists now. In those days, because of the process you had to get through to actually start recording and release a track, there were relatively fewer artists
right.
on the marketplace. But now, anybody that wants to come out with something, whether they have the talent or not, you know, they have the ability to do so because with a laptop, as I say, and some pirated software, you don't have to spend much money. You can put something out there. But what's happening now is that we have so many musicians, in quotes, flooding the market with music that they're not even interested in making money from it, right? So what they're interested in is blowing. That's the term, blowing. So they will just put the music out there for free, and it's shared on all kinds of sites because they want to be popular. They want the song to be known and you know, and to hit, so that they can eventually start performing and making money from the live shows. But that's not how it should be. The live show should be the icing on the cake. That shouldn't be your main source of income.
So what is the main source of income?
By doing the right thing.
It should be from the sales of your music.
Yeah.
So okay, now this is how I want you to educate us the process of say I'm a startup, I'm a new upcoming musician. I do want to get popular and I have leaked my songs.
Right.
But I've now listened to Geek Squad and I've heard that that's the wrong way to go. I need to go through a certain process and then make sales for my music. But I don't know how. What do I do?
Okay, well, the first thing you should do is don't give out your stuff for free. Certainly not the full version of your song.
This goes both to producers and artists.
Everybody. Everybody.
Film.
You know, at most, if you want your song to be popular, take a portion of it, the hook, whether it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, let that go out on social media, you know, to generate some interest. You know, if you've shot a video, don't put the whole thing out there straight away. You see the thing, because what you want to do is drive the audience to a platform where they can purchase the music. So whether it's a streaming site like Spotify or Deezer, or whether it's a purchase site, a download site like iTunes and so on, you need to drive the traffic to those sites and not to the what is it, Reverb Nation and
those
SoundCloud.
Yeah, where people can
Audio
look.
Mac.
I did an experiment a few months back. We're actually launching a music platform for Ghana,
right?
Which will allow artists to finally make some proper money. But we did an experiment, and we took 20 of the biggest songs of last year and this year, and literally within 30 minutes, with my laptop and Google, I downloaded all of them, and I hadn't paid a penny.
Wow!
Every single song, without fail, I could download. I just did a search.
A Google search,
Name of the track, free download. It was available. Whether it's the Reverb Nation, is it Ghana Music? I've forgotten
Ghana
the
Motion.
site. Ghana Motion, yeah. And these guys are making money off of these people's songs because they sell ad content based on people coming to the sites to download the songs for free. So they're making money off of the artists, and the artists are getting paid nothing for it. You see the thing. So, you know, and don't forget it still costs money to produce a song if you want to do it properly. You know, if you want to get a good producer, you know, that producer is not in this only for the love of the game. They have to eat. They have to buy electricity.
Exactly.
The air conditioners in studios are very expensive to run. You see the thing. So we have to sensitize the public. But first of all, we have to make it easy for the public to buy the music. Right now, it's kind of difficult, you know, because if you don't have your Visa card set up properly, if you're using an Apple, an iPhone, you don't have your Visa card set up and all that, you can't buy legitimate music off of iTunes. So there need to be more download and streaming platforms that make it easy for the general public to buy legitimate music, because I'm sure most of the public out there wouldn't mind paying one CD to get a song. You see the thing, a song that they pay their one CD and then they have that song for life. You see the thing? Because in those days, you used to love going into the record stores, browsing through. You see the artwork of the
vinyls
label and that, and then you've bought it, and you feel like, you own something. You can't wait to get home to go and play that record or that CD or the tape, in your system at home. But now it's like, the songs that like it's just like bubblegum. You can just download anything, play it, whether you like it or not. You can throw it away, and then So people are losing that respect and that value for music.
Okay.
And we have to build that back.
Right. So we have on the phone line Kofi. Kofi was here with us last week. Kofi, you've been listening to us.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
It's been a very interesting discussion.
Yeah. So I know have this policy of what basically David said, don't release just like that.
Oh. You mean putting out releases?
Basically without making anything from it.
Well, I have put out stuff for free, but it's something I hardly do. Because I believe, not to debunk any belief systems, but I think from the commercial aspect of it, or trying to make money, monetizing whatever it is that you produce or put out there, as far as music is concerned, one of the most difficult aspects of it is marketing it. Okay?
Right.
And I am not one of the people who believes in a one-size-fits-all type approach to marketing music, because I believe every artist or musician is unique. And their rollout plan, or basically the marketing plan for releasing or putting out their music, has to be unique, because it has to be targeted to their listener base or their audience.
Right.
Okay? People who would appreciate the music, listen, and want to pay for it. Okay. That being said, I think it's fairly fine for certain artists to put out stuff for free, provided it is supposed to kick the door open to create other avenues through which you can monetize music. This view is a rather controversial one, and is one that I actually had to admit wholeheartedly quite recently. Because increasingly, in this day and age, like in today's world, because of technology and the easy entry point, it's very easy to create music. No one mentioned smartphones, but these days people are recording on smartphones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people would use the music as a stepping stone to actually make money off of other opportunities that the free music would usually give them. Like when Soulja Boy put out Crank That Soulja Boy, he made more sales from ringtones than from actual music sales. Before later the sales actually matched up. If I recollect correctly. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I did an experiment sometime last year or 2 years ago.
You guys
a
have been
single
doing
I produced
experiments.
to put out for an artist on a label was the same price of an app on the Google Play Store and iTunes, the App Store, the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
That was supposed to produce fart noises. Fart sounds, just simulate farts. You know what I mean? That's how cheap music has been made. I mean, that's how disposable what we do has been reduced to. So sometimes it's very difficult to place value on it. And certain persons find it easier to lampoon or to make use of the listenership or the followers of an artist, and rather capitalize off sales using other avenues. But I'm still old school in the sense that I still think the most important thing is the music and the quality of the music contained in the recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in this day and age, across the globe, your recorded work is increasingly becoming an interactive business card. Hi, my name is Kofi. What do you do? I'm a professional artist. I'm a professional musician. Do you have something I can listen to? You give them a link to Spotify, Pandora, or maybe AudioMac or SoundCloud. Like David said, I'm not a big fan like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, depending on who the artist is, you try to give people a reason or an avenue to experience what it is you're capable of delivering. Because sales have reduced. The income generated from streaming is pitiful. I think you have to get like 100 or 1,000 streams to get to what like one download would usually give you as far as money is concerned. You know.
Uh-huh.
So
So on
artists-
this tangent, I'd like to introduce Magnum, since he is a producer turned artist, to
Right.
basically tell us how he makes money from his music, because I was able to download your music for free too.
Yeah, I mean, right now I don't really mind that because I want the music out, but it's a bit more difficult to download because you have to get it off SoundCloud. Yeah, and it's quite difficult to download off SoundCloud. Yeah, and regardless, even if it's just iTunes, someone could buy it and then share it for free.
Yeah.
So it would be more difficult to control that. But I don't mind. I actually want the music out because then it becomes streams. Even that's why I'm comfortable putting it on SoundCloud. For a while, I wasn't putting my music on SoundCloud, but I realized, regardless of how many numbers you do on SoundCloud, you still get a lot of streams on Apple Music. Almost the same. It's like there are different audiences. I don't know, because SoundCloud is like a community. So yeah, that and streams and then shows. Yeah.
That's basically how you look at making money.
I mean, until the point where I get like endorsement deals, which are not my main focus, because I want to be myself. Any brand that want to associate with me will have to associate with me as I am, and not come and alter me. Or I don't have to be their. I don't have to be their. I don't know how to put this, but the artist who fits their. The kind of artist they want to sell,
Right.
whose image fits that, yeah, basically. So I'm just being myself, enjoying it. And I okay, for me, I'm on a different path right now, so maybe it would not make sense to this convo, but yeah, basically, yeah.
So you're not affected by the fact that technology is causing music to be easily shareable, thereby reducing revenue generated to musicians and producers?
I mean, that's what it's become, is the internet, so there's
If
nothing
there
you
was
can
a
do about it.
solution to this, would you subscribe to that?
If there was a solution, I would. But what would the solution? The solution, if the internet was not present, you still don't have those sales anyway. So,
What do you think?
I think so. I don't think. I think it will still, the labels will still have more power and artists won't be independent. Like right now.
Let me take another new age opinion. Drum roll. You also think that without the internet, we still wouldn't make sales?
Without the internet, right now it's.
Or you haven't
Charlie,
lived in a...
Ghana, we do.
No, are you saying
the thing is, well, like,
Are you saying before people don't make sales without internet?
I mean, they make sales, but you see,
before-
that will just give the power to the labels. Right now, every artist has their own power
yeah, like
to do what they want. You can do whatever you want to do
Yeah,
and
I
still
know.
make your money.
I know, but
But it's not-
if you have an understanding of something being put in down, you have to follow his contract. So I think on that level,
No, I mean, if you are still signed to a label and you are still getting, but it gives, like, for someone like me, I don't want anyone to limit my creativity. And so the internet allows me to do whatever I want,
So for
get
you,
it
it's
to
a
wherever.
free
It's a
platform.
free, like, everybody is free to do what they want.
Yeah,
You
but-
don't have to be.
the thing is, for me personally, what bums me out is the, like the incoming generation, right? I feel like, I mean, I get like what Magnum is saying, like it's about, Charlie, right now, like that's the age that we're in now. It's like everyone wants to, like, there's so much music out there right now. Like if you're going to be this person, and it's the same way for even like in terms of producers even getting paid. It's like, it's like if you do this and you want to get paid for it, someone is going to be out there who's going to want to do it for free, and everyone's obviously going to go to that person because and it's the same thing. It's like,
No, but I
why
don't
would I
think so.
stress?
I think everybody, you could just add value to yourself to the point where they still have the free option, but they still have to pay for yours.
Yes, but you have to build like your like that respect for yourself. Like you have to put your foot down and be like, yeah, like I'm not gonna just because you are this person doesn't mean I'm just gonna like do that. Like you have to value yourself. When you value yourself, eventually there are times that these people have come back, but then I'm gonna be like, you do get to that point where like you choose who you want to work with. When you get to that point, you're gonna see that like, yeah, because you don't need to rely on anybody. But the thing is like right now, when I talk about like the incoming generation, for me, I just want them to know the right way so that they can choose. If they say, okay, I know that this is the right way, but maybe I want to get my music heard, so maybe between this period and this period, like I want to put out free music, and then later on, there are people who do both. There are people who would still put their music in iTunes and still put it on SoundCloud. By the end of the day, their diehard followers or fans are still going to go to their music because they want to support you.
To make money.
Exactly, because if someone loves your music, someone loves you as a person, why wouldn't they want you to do well? So when you build like good like fans, proper fans, not just people who are going to listen to your music and be like, oh yeah, this guy dropped some new song. you need to build proper fans. So when you have proper fans, that's like proper numbers. Like yeah, so when you have that, it's like, so that's what I believe. So if you can get like diehard fans, even if you put out free music and you put up your iTunes or whatever, they're either gonna like go for both or just gonna go for the ones that are eventually gonna help you, the artist, make money. Because when you make money, you keep coming back, you keep producing more music for them.
What if people didn't know how much money they could make essentially from the music they put out there?
That's the thing. Like,
and that's
but you know what I think? Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh.
I just feel like the internet still gives power to the producers. You have producers like Metro Boomin doing collab projects. So I don't know, like I know a couple of producers coming up as compared to then where you would have to you relied on an artist to put out the song before you get heard. You can now have a contract with artists, do splits like this showcase. You could do splits, split the percentages. You get a percentage if you produce for someone, depending on what agreement you have. You could have any percentage of sales. So like I just think it's all power. I just think it's all power to everybody.
But then even with that, it comes down to like when it comes to technology and all that. Even in this part of the world, like if we come back to Ghana self we did. When you go to district, for instance, like there's there's a number of ways that you can get paid. I mean, the one that is like the place right in front of you is like PayPal. Like this is how you get your money. But then, I mean, when you dig deep, there's like other ways. There's like e-checks and other ways that you can get paid. But the thing is, there's even other like sort of taxes and stuff you have to pay on those things. And if you don't even make as much, like before that money even gets to you, Charlie, you get. But then definitely, like with these streaming platforms, like once you get people educated on these things and they know that okay. And when we say DistroKid, for those who don't know, this is basically how you get your music into all these stores like iTunes and Spotify and all that. So basically with DistroKid, if let's say Magnum has DistroKid, I have DistroKid, and me and Magnum work on a song, we can literally put in there, okay, he worked on maybe 50% on the song, I worked on 50%. So every income that comes in there through the sales, it automatically gets split between me and Magnum. So that definitely like has helped. But how many people even know this? I think it's just about educating people.
Yeah, just giving people power.
We have Sadiq also on the line, and Kofi's still on the line. Hello, Sadiq.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, Sadiq. So you've been listening to us.
Yes, I've been.
And you've been in the music business for a while.
Yes, like
the Ghana view of things, because I heard drum rolls say Ghana we do, and I've heard PayPal, we don't do PayPal here. So when people put their music out on the international market, I mean, yes, technology has come to help us, but how do they make money in Ghana here where we do?
So when you put it on it, I can speak on the basis of my experience working with Boomplay in Ghana. So
and where Boomplay is.
Boomplay is also a store. It's actually the biggest store in Africa now, with about nearly 45 million users in the whole of Africa.
Okay.
So for Boomplay, and it pretty much works like just all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and stuff. So when you come to the aggregator, what we call, one of the guys was saying DistroKid, it's an aggregator.
Okay.
So we've got a number of aggregators here. There are a few aggregators. There's One Sound. There's Me Promo. These are the main popular local aggregators in Ghana.
So they aggregate the music and then distribute it?
Yes, they aggregate the music and then distribute to platforms like Boomplay, Apple Music and stuff.
Okay.
Now, when they distribute, the artists often have their own contractual agreement with these platforms, and there's the percentages they've agreed on. When you put it on it, when you get more streamings, when you get more plays within the apps, you get paid for it. There's a whole applications to it, and then the payment is given to these aggregators who in turn make the payments to you. But there's also a way to get a lot more streams. Often what people do is that you just give the music to TuneCore, DistroKid, or Me Promo and just go to bed. So they would also list it. But the fact that your song has been listed on Apple Music, Spotify, or Boomplay doesn't mean anything because when it's there, you would have to do some bit of marketing for people to actually go there and try to get it. So people have prioritized a certain level of marketing, which includes playlisting. So if you have access to, there are some very popular playlists. When you use Spotify, for instance, there are some very, very popular playlists. In the US, there's a whole talk about the Rap Caviar, for instance, which is a very popular playlist. Apple Music has got all of these Afrocentric playlists that are run by people in the US and the UK. It's all part of the whole marketing push. So if you have some level of plug, they can list you as part of the playlist, and people can discover a song while you're listening to the playlist, or it can enable a certain level of streams. Right. Another part of it again is that, and which I've told a number of these artist managers, is to prioritize how they get into conversations with these particular organizations. They've got operations around. They've got their people working around. Apple Music's got a number of Africans, Ghanaians, and Nigerians working for them in Dubai. Spotify is now in South Africa and in Egypt. They've got people working for them. Boomplay is now here. They've got people working for them. One of the things you should look out for is try to see how you can do certain specific deals for them where you say, look, I'm going to give you my song, but I will be glad if it's because as far as my experience is anything to go by, they are open to conversations where you can maximize the assets they have. They've got marketing assets around. So you can enter into conversation and say, okay, look, I know you've got a number of robots around in town and all the markets you played. I know you've got some budget that you can push on your own on some social media push in terms of the song. You can actually even do a campaign. So recently, Boomplay did a campaign with Stonebwoy songs, for instance. It's all part of the conversation, but like one of your guys was saying, it all boils down to the knowledge, understanding, and gathering of a lot of insight. I think that in terms of management and talent, they need to gather a lot more insights regarding how you can get a lot more streams, how you can get a lot more airplays, how you can make more money, how you can activate your music and your band in all these different markets. So when you have all these in place, you can enter into those where they can actually even fly into some of these countries, do some little things there where you can activate your music and the brand such that people will discover you and decide to actually go on these stores to try to listen to your music. So there's a whole way around it, but often when I engage with the local artists, even the top ones, the bigger ones, you'll be surprised. They know next, including their management, they know next to nothing about these things.
Hence our education.
Yes. So, this education is good. And, the more this goes on, there are some of them that we speak to on one-on-one levels regarding how you can go about it, how you can go about pushing, how you can go about maximizing it and getting more out of the stream, SoundCloud and stuff, how you can really essentially turn the road. That's how come every now and then I keep asking. I remember when Sarkodie came on the show, for instance, on Showbiz A to Z, there was a question I asked him about their commercial strategy behind their releases. Interestingly, it was misconstrued. It seemed as if we're asking for a trade secret, but really it wasn't about that. It was actually trying to unlock some of these conversations to them. And often when I get into the conversation with these talent, I try to pick their mind regarding, do they know where it's going into? Because it seems as though you record the song, you put it on Apple Music, you put it on Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Boomplay. There's some little noise in the first week. You get some trends on social media, and everything comes to normal again. It doesn't amount to much. So I keep asking some of them, where your biggest revenue channels is in terms of streaming. I asked somebody that, okay, you've listed a particular song on all these stores. Within the last 1 year, how much did you, for instance, check? In terms of check, did you pick from Apple Music? He says, a little over $100 and something. I'm like, that's it. So merely recording the song and putting it on SoundCloud and putting it on the platforms is nothing. You speak to the artists that are there, that are sitting down there. I doubt if any of them within the last 2 to 3 years that they probably listed their songs on this platform have probably made more than, say, $3,000 for one platform.
That's why Magnum here was saying that
he's saying he doesn't think I've made more than that. For a single. My Baby is a very huge song. It's had like almost 2 million plays on Apple Music alone. and on Spotify is over 1 million views, almost 2 million. On
for-
YouTube is
for
like
which period?
1 million views. So
which period?
we've made a lot of
He's
money.
asking for
But I
which
think,
period?
is that for which period? Bro, it doesn't even matter because look at where we are from. The playlist, people who are making playlists are not even from, like the biggest playlists are not Afrobeat playlists. Afrobeat is just getting recognized.
Yes.
And like there are so many hurdles. It's not even the fault of the artist. Even DC is complaining about getting money from PayPal. It's so hard. Like I take my money to PayPal, but they always find a way to, because of all the fraud things going on in Africa. They just keep switching the so it's so hard. Like right now, I have money stuck in it that I can't even get out.
Yeah.
That's how hard it is. I have my money stuck in the
When you
PayPal.
say it's not the fault of the artist or the management, it's as if you're shifting the blame. Because look, everybody, if you are in a particular trade that you value, if you are in a particular trade that you value, you've got to gather all the knowledge that and insights that would push it for you. There's a tendency to push it to other industry people about it. You are most importantly responsible for your craft, responsible for your commercial.
The standard, but there's no, it's not isolated. It's not just the music or just Apple Music. You know, there are even actual labels in America and things lobbying for the artists. How are you going to go against that? So the best thing we have is to market ourselves and like do our music and make sure you have like a sound that the world will come and feed off or something. And we could try marketing too.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be blamed because you know where we're from. You know how hard it is. Even if someone is creating the playlist, how honest is the person going to be? From here, it's just going to be the same thing, just like Piola and like anything else. You understand me?
And Rash, do you think that this system has gotten easier? I mean, from what they're saying, I prefer your old school style.
I won't lie.
Very easy.
I won't
In
lie.
the old days, it was very easy because
Very easy,
you know
yeah.
you're gonna press 10,000, 100,000 cassettes, and you know that it's being distributed by
Just
Precise
press,
or Lucky Sounds. They come and buy it from you in bulk. You
But
take your cash away.
they will
and then
chase
you're-
you.
You're cool.
No, I feel like it was for the top artists, like the the creme de la creme.
No,
No.
you're right. Yes, it was only for a certain. But then that.
But
that
we had
applies
Pretty
to
was
everybody,
nobody.
Because if you had. If you were an up and coming artist and you pressed your cassettes, obviously there's only a limited number of sales that you would make.
So it's the same as the streaming too.
I
I feel like it's the same.
Our listeners probably want to send in some questions. You want to send in a question? WhatsApp line is 0244340437. 0244340437. We're talking about music, technology, and the impact of technology on the music business. So we've got a question here. Please accept credit cards. What other means can songs be bought on iTunes and DM and that's so much?
That's all. Credit and debit cards. That's all.
Or you go and buy it.
The
No,
Apple,
but
card.
you could use a debit card, a Ghanaian debit card.
Yeah, but it's eventually the same thing.
No.
card basically.
A Visa card, yeah, but he's saying credit card.
You know, like I'm not like for instance, an artist like Pricky. Nobody knew him.
I
But
don't
we
know.
blew. Nobody knew him. And when they heard the song, they were like, no, this is gonna sell. They start putting pressure on you. Because when you produce a quality song, it catches.
Well,
On its own.
I feel like now there's more opportunity because I just went to
Oh, yeah, of
Mauritius
course.
on Friday and I don't even know how does it make sense. Yeah, in Ghana, if you see how far Mauritius, how long we had to fly, how long the transit was to get to Mauritius for them to be singing Ohema Machi songs, like 10 songs. Like you just appreciate what's happening. You just have to do the right music, target the right market, and then you get paid. You understand me? So I just think it's not time for us to like let the artists feel like now it's bad, so all hope is lost. No, this is the time.
Well,
You
technology
can take over the whole
terms
world.
of people getting to know you from other walks of life.
globally,
It's
you become-
globally, yeah.
And it's still money. So like I think it's the time is now. Like everybody should be awakened, not to think like he has trapped or anything. It's
I mean, Kofi, are you still on the line? Okay, so Kofi was telling me a story about another artist who basically made a lot of music, did not release these music, and one time later on, I mean, he didn't put it up for free downloads and everything. He put them up, he listed them and all that, and he wasn't making any money. But then he gets a deal. You were there.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
gets a deal of about $500,000 for just one song.
yeah.
You know, from someone that wanted the rights to use the song for some production on the
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, so there's all of that too.
Yeah, the thing is, people just need to know about the opportunities in music.
Yeah.
Like when I started like producing, like my whole mindset was, yeah, just produce for artists. Just produce for artists. Like that's the only way. But there's so much. Like there's so much you can do. That you can even score like. I've made like a lot of money just scoring like 1 minute 30-second songs for companies. That's a route as well. Like going to scoring, you can go into anything. So it's not just particularly like music all the time. There's different opportunities. Like the way Mag is saying, like he's like, yeah, for him it's about, you know, just being able to put his music out. At the end of the day, he's like enjoying like the fruits of that labor, being able to be called to these places to perform. And I mean, I'm sure he enjoys that. I mean, come on, yeah.
It's more hope than just being a producer.
Yeah, it's not just
for. And also, like you don't get royalties. We don't get that much royalties from Ghana anyway. So
that's the
if
thing.
you are producing music just for Ghana,
yes,
you are going to be frustrated.
And this is something people have to know. When I was starting, they made royalties sound like it was some major big money. Like it was so big. That's what they make you think, but it's not. It is very little. You should just think of it more like.
I mean, in Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana, especially in Ghana. Yeah, but they make it feel like they make you think it like over here, like it's the same out there, but it's not. It really isn't. If you're outside, then yes, but here.
So for the up and coming musician, the young ones who are sitting at home, you mentioned that they should learn stuff from YouTube.
Yeah, like don't sleep on YouTube for real. Don't.
We need to educate them. What are the possibilities? What has technology brought now? So people wake up every morning and want to be musicians and rappers. What I mean, I take one.
Okay, for me, I just feel like it's boundless. It's so, but like you just have to do what you want to do. It's not going to be easy. The process is going to be difficult because of the way we've known music should be promoted, how artists are supposed to be seen, and all of those things. People don't actually use their brains to think about the truth, the reality. So it's boundless. You could learn how to produce. You could do anything you hear someone do. You could look at the VSTs they use. People have tutorials. There's everything out there. You just have to be on the internet. Open your mind inside, then download everything put inside, and just know it's boundless. You could do anything you want to do. You could go anywhere you want to go, and just work on it.
Dave,
I agree with what you said, but the other thing is that you see now, as an artist, you have the opportunity to do absolutely everything. You know, from producing your own music, singing or rapping on your, mixing it off, mastering it, and releasing it. Right. However, what's tending to happen is that we're becoming jack of all trades and master of none. You see the thing? Because, look, to market music is a whole profession. You see the thing? And as an artist, you can't be expected to do all of that, plus still concentrate on your art and creating music, and then be doing the marketing, be doing all the meetings, arranging for shows and all of that. You need to have a team. And a team who understands what their specific roles are. And they have to have targets. So if somebody is responsible for making sure that your music is being put on all the right platforms, is being put on all the right playlists, you're collecting your streaming revenue and all of that, and they're maximizing, somebody needs to focus on that, and that alone. Because that is a full-time job. You know, making the links, getting the network. You know, people like Sadiq have a lot of information. You know, meeting people like Sadiq, meeting Sadiq's equivalents in all the various countries. And all of this can be done online. But it needs somebody who will focus on that. You see the thing. So management is not just about a manager who's going to, you know, say, okay, you got a radio interview today, this, that. You need someone to handle your social media. You need someone to handle your sales, your marketing. You see the thing. It's a whole team because you're building a brand. And as a musician, it takes a while to build that brand and to gather your fan base. You know, just as with any other product, you can't expect to start making a new brand of coffee and it will sell. You know, off the shelves immediately. You have to start developing it, speaking to the various distributors, you know, doing your advertisements, marketing, and all of that. And the same thing applies to any musician. An artist is a brand, and that brand has to be developed by a team of people. So I think artists need to be willing to give up some of that control and realize that you can't do it all alone. If you really want to be successful, you can't do it alone.
Okay. Rash.
David has said a lot, but I'm just going to add just a little on the technical side of it. Like you said, music production itself is a job that one person cannot do. Because in music you should have a mixing engineer, recording. You have to have all those things in place. So at least you can see that a lot goes into that particular work for you in terms of quality. So I'll just edge the up and coming ones that you just can't do. You can't say, I do my song, I play my own beat, and I mix my own songs. There's a place you definitely will fall short. So I can advise them that when you do a song, you're a producer, and there is another person there who is a mixing engineer, you can call the person in to help doing the production. Yeah.
Great. Drum roll.
Yeah. I mean, like you said it all, man. Like, for me, most importantly, it's Charlie. Like, take advantage of what you have, and the knowledge is very important. Like, because all these things they're saying about being collaborative and knowing, like, to the point that you can do things on your own. I mean, honestly, that's what brought me this far. Like, I didn't start out I want to do everything on my own, but the internet is there. I mean, learn what you can from there, and when it gets to the point that that there are things that are piling up, get people who know, like, who can think in the same box as you, and just gel with these people and work. Like, do whatever you have to do creatively, like, on every level, on the business side, everything. So yeah, like,
great.
So you're gonna have one last thing. One last thing. I just feel like, in all honesty, I just feel like everyone who is trying to do music in Ghana should just be encouraged to do it. Yeah. Because I don't know how many managers I know that have knowledge about, like, most of these things we learned on our own and just interacting with each other. So it's key to just keep people doing, like, just encourage them to do it, because it's not easy to get a manager who's going to be okay. I think I'm a custom.
So the show has been Geek Squad. My name is Kobe Spike Chroma. Thank you to my producer Dela Glano, Abeku Sankofi, Dennis the Fairboy, Selwyn, and up next is the news at 8. After which we have Overdrive. Catch you guys next week. The message I said when I be talking about movies, we will talk about movies soon. I'll see you guys on the next one.